Hello, everybody, and welcome to Amnesty UK Rainbow's Network Sunday Evening Quiz. So we are a group of activists who assist with Amnesty UK's campaigns and work around LGBTQ plus rights. And we've put together tonight a classic pub quiz to help you round off your weekend. It's a classic format with an LGBT rights spin. So before we begin, I'll introduce myself. My name is Liam. My pronouns are he and him, and I'll let Joe introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Joe, and I use they, them, or she, her pronouns.
Brilliant. And also we have Lauren, who is also with us, who is very kindly here as our BSL interpreter. This evening, we have 8 rounds for you to test your LGBT knowledge. And at the end of each round, we will read the answers, and it's up to you at home to count up your scores. So best of luck. Have paper and pens at the ready. And also, we must remind you, it's up to you to be honest with what you have. We hope that you do test your trivia and perhaps learn something new. And without further ado, I think let's begin. So the first round is a general knowledge round. So for the first question, question 1. Who played Hefina Hedden, a member of the strike committee in the 2014 British film Pride? It's a little bit of a specific one to start, I'll give you that. But who played Hefina Hedden, a member of the strike committee in the 2014 British film Pride? So this is the film that commemorates lesbian and gay support the miners.
Amazing film. Really enjoy it.
It's a really lovely feel-good film. Actually, I'm usually quite skeptical of things like that, but even it made me feel good about things. So, okay, I'll move on to question 2. In 2009, which European country became the first in the world to have an openly gay person elected as its head of government? So that's either a prime minister or a president. In 2009, which European country became the first in the world to have an openly gay person elected as head of government? I mean, I remember this because it made headlines at the time, but anyway, that's just showing my age from when I was reading the news or started to. Okay, I hope you have that one down. Question 3. What would you most famously associate with the American artist and gay rights activist Gilbert Baker? So it's a bit of a niche question, but what would you most famously associate with the American artist and gay rights activist Gilbert Baker? This is something which is very, very iconic and very much linked to what we're talking about now. I hope that gives a few clues.
All over your screen.
There are also clues all over my screen. Yeah. Okay, question 4. So name the first openly elected official in the history of California and also in the wider United States of America, who was played in a 2008 film, American biographical film by Sean Penn. So who was the first openly gay elected official in the history of California who was played by Sean Penn in the 2008 film? Okay. I think that's also quite a famous one. We're trying to start them off a little bit easy because some of them become a little bit more specific towards the end. So if you're doing well so far, well done. I'll move on to question 5. So the Rainbow List is a list of the most influential openly LGBT individuals in the UK. Which Sunday newspaper is this list published in? So this Rainbow List is a list of the most influential openly LGBT individuals in the UK, and it's published annually in which British Sunday newspaper?
The clue here is it's a newspaper my granny would not be caught dead reading.
Really? Is it that bad?
Yeah.
I have to be careful of which newspapers to actually read and not. But I try and read all of them as much as I can. I think my parents would read this newspaper, so I'm not sure. That probably will give you no clue whatsoever, but there you are. As no one knows our parents or grandparents, so great. Okay, so I'll move on to question 6. So this is quite a turning point. So in 2001, which country became the first to establish same-sex marriage by law? So this is the first country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage. I'll repeat that again. In 2001, which country became the first to establish same-sex marriage by law? So 2001, one of the first countries to do it, or the first country to do it. This is also talking about marriage as well, not civil unions or anything else. So don't get that confused. Okay, I hope that's enough time. Question 7. Which city is generally agreed to be the unofficial gay capital of the UK? And I think this is only unofficial because there's never going to be a decree which says this is this is like the gay city. I also think this question might have a little bit of a problem because some other people kind of argue about which cities are this city, but we have the answer that's gone by most people would say this. So, which city is generally agreed to be the unofficial gay capital of the UK?
Highly contentious.
It is a bit highly contentious. Yeah. Maybe this is a clue, but I live in Manchester, and I'm not sure people here would agree. But so maybe that gives it away. I'm not sure. But question 8. I'll move on. What was the professional name of the first transgender person to win the Eurovision Song Contest? What was the professional name of the first transgender person to win the Eurovision Song Contest? So their show name.
Turns out my partner had actually never watched Eurovision before until this year, and it wasn't even, real Eurovision. Can you believe that? An LGBT plus person not watching Eurovision?
I mean, I'm a bit embarrassed now because that's also, I've never watched it at all. I've watched clips, but I've never sat down to watch it. I know, I'm a really, really bad gay person. Sorry, I'll try and fix it, but yeah, I'm failing in that one. Okay, so this is the last question of this round, the general knowledge round. In 2008, who became the first female member of parliament to enter a civil partnership? So this is quite a niche one, but just think about your LGBT representatives in the UK. This person is quite a big political presence. So in 2008, who became the first female member of parliament to enter a civil partnership? Okay, I think that starts off the very easy, hopefully it's easy, general. I think some of them are a little bit specific, but what we're going to do is at the end of each round, we're going to read out the answers for the round that we've just done, just to avoid us reading the answers to like 60 questions at the end, of which you may or may not remember. Some of them are a little bit specific. So I will go over the first round again. So who played Hefina Hedden, a member of the strike committee in the 2014 British film Pride? So this is the film about lesbian and gay support the migrants. It was, hopefully you remember, Imelda Staunton, who actually is one of my favorite actors. She's a lot more friendly here than she is in Harry Potter, which is nice to see. If I can't actually imagine that character being in a minor society, that would be horrible. You must not tell lies. But anyway, we'll avoid that. The second question. So I hope you got that one. It was a bit specific, but let's see what's going on. In 2009, which European country became the first in the world to have an openly gay person elected as their head of government? It was Iceland. I forget if this is a prime minister or a president, but I definitely know that they're gay, and that's the point of the question. So I think it might be a president because I don't have a queen, but don't worry, just don't quote me on that. I feel a bit bad. I should probably have known that. Okay, third question. What would you most famously associate with the American artist and gay rights activist Gilbert Baker? Like Joe said, there is loads of clues, like on my hat and the flag behind me. It was the rainbow flag, which was first used in 1978, and now has since become a global signifier of the LGBT community worldwide. So thank you very much for that, Gilbert Baker. Question 4. Name the first openly gay elected official in the history of California and the wider US who was played by Sean Penn in the American 2008 biographical film. It was obviously Harvey Milk, a very, 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 very famous gay icon. If you haven't watched that film, I highly recommend it. I watched it at the beginning of Pride Month. It's actually one of my favorites. It's kind of like comfort food. I can always go back to it.
I'm the same with
Question.
Shrek.
What, sorry?
I'm the same with Shrek. I can watch it so many times.
that famous LGBT icon Shrek. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's my Pride Month. Well, could there be a reading? There's a reading of Finding Nemo or Finding Dory, where Dory became a queer icon. So it's hard to explain, but it's something that I definitely recommend looking up. It's quite interesting.
I will look it up.
Yeah, I really recommend it. I think it's in a book. No, I'm gonna forget that. I'll put a pin in that. The fifth question. The Rainbow List is a list of the most influential openly LGBT individuals in the UK, and it's published in which British national Sunday newspaper? Joe's grandparents wouldn't be caught reading this. My parents definitely would. It's The Independent on Sunday. So look out for that. I actually didn't know that, and I've never actually looked at this list, but I'd be very, very curious to see what the ranking is and who comes out
You're not
first.
on it.
Not yet. Maybe one day. Fingers crossed. I love the recognition. I love the fame. That'd be amazing. Okay. Question 6. In 2001, which country became the first to establish same-sex marriage by law? So this isn't civil partnerships. This is marriage, and it was the Netherlands, which is a very famously, largely progressive country, and lots of other countries since then have followed suit, which is great because people love to get married. We love love. Question 7. Which city is generally agreed to be the unofficial gay capital of the UK? Might be a bit tricky to say this. People say Brighton. We largely say Brighton. I don't know why. Apparently, London has the highest concentration of LGBT people, especially in Lambeth. Manchester, obviously, where I live, has got a really, really famous gay scene. But this is what people say. So I'm really sorry if you disagree. And you got the question wrong. I'm sorry. Question 8. What was the professional name of the first transgender person to win the Eurovision Song Contest, which I didn't watch? It was Dana International. That was Dana International. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't get that one right, if you're not a fan of Eurovision, because I wouldn't have got that one right. But anyway.
I am a fan of Eurovision and I didn't get that one right.
Well, we have to. But this is why this quiz exists, to brush up on our knowledge of all these things. I have to still find out if Iceland has a prime minister or a president. Question 9. In 2008, who became the first female member of parliament to enter a civil partnership? This was before equal marriage. It was Angela Eagle, I think one of the most prominent LGBT members of parliament we have in this country at the moment. So that's very, 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 very happy for her. I hope that was okay to follow. I hope you did well. If you didn't, don't worry. There are many other rounds so we can test your knowledge. And I will pass you over now to Jo for a lyrics round.
Okay, so we're going to be doing a lyrics round. I'm going to try super hard not to sing these lyrics in the actual tune and give it away, partly because it will be giving it away, and partly because you do not sing any of these songs at all. I know watching and she will be nodding along. So she's heard my shower singing and we'll keep it to the side for today. So first one in round 2. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. So what I want you to do is I want you to say who sung the song and also the name of the song, and there'll be 2 points for each question. So I'll read that again. Sorry. It's a little bit funny, feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live.
I just have to say something, Jo. Have you ever heard William Shatner's version of songs? Where he,
You're not saying words like that.
No, it just kind of you don't. It's a fine line. I would really like the kind of beat poetry that comes through this. But sorry, I'll let you continue.
This next one's even better, I assure you. Right, question 2. I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity. So 2 points there, 1 for the artist, 1 for the song name. We ready for... Everybody should know that one. Everyone should know that one. If you don't, be very ashamed.
I don't know that one. No, I do. I think everyone does. Where have you been?
I am rethinking our friendship.
Sorry. No, I meant the William Shatner thing is a good thing. It was like you bringing out the emotion, you bringing out the rhythm.
I'm a very deep person. I hope that's coming across. So number 3. I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? I really want to do the next line because it's very, very catchy, but I'm not going to because that will give it away.
I have seen a meme. Oh, sorry. I was going to say I have seen a meme where the end line to that thing is different. It's just I always hear it as I'm overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. And
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sing it. Right. So that was question 3. I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Feeling overwhelmed.
Question 4 is one of feeling overwhelmed. And question 4 is one of my mum's favourite songs ever, which she'll be very embarrassed to hear me say. She's into superstitions, black cats and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition. That girl's gonna make me fall. And again, she's into superstitions, black cats and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition. That girl's going to make me fall.
I really
So
think that
again,
your
we've got
fan
the artist
is
and the
adding to
song
this.
title. Pardon?
I was going to say, I really think your fan is adding to this. It's like you're in a gig, but it's a really, really strange, gig with no music and.
It's baking in this room. It's absolutely baking. But I've
Oh,
got my
I'm
wind machine
freezing.
going and I'm feeling great. So question 5. I want to hold 'em like they do in Texas, please. Fold 'em, let 'em hit me, raise it, baby, stay with me. I love it.
Mm.
Do you know this one, Liam?
Oh, of course I know this one. This is my high school years. This was. I'm pretty sure, actually, in drama, in a second, for a bit, we almost tried to learn the dance routine. I think we got as far as like the start. I don't want to give it away too much, and I'm definitely not performing it. So,
That's very disappointing. I learnt the
yeah.
routine to one of this artist's other songs, and we performed it in the school cafeteria as like a massive group. So it was an all-girls school, and I fell over halfway through and bashed my head on one of the tables. So if anyone from my high school is listening to this, you're welcome for that memory. It was very
Oh,
embarrassing. Yeah.
it's not embarrassing. You can't underestimate how much the audience loves it. Like, how much do we end up like Googling when Beyonce and Madonna falls off stage? Like, those clips have been viewed millions of times. It's like a universal human thing that we just enjoy watching people fall safely and not get too hurt or anything like that. But especially in the middle of a musical
Oh,
number. Does
was
that
it
make me sound
Madonna
like a
who fell over? No, it's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
Was it Madonna who fell over with the massive cape?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Remember?
I think she
Yeah, and
tumbled
everyone was
right
doing the
down
no
the stairs.
capes meme.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So
yeah.
back to the topic. Question 5 was, I want to hold him like start again. I want to hold him like they do in Texas, please. Fold him, let him hit me, raise it, baby, stay with me. I love it. Okay. Question 6. I don't want to hear sad songs anymore. I only want to hear love songs. I found my heart up in this place tonight. And a bit of a clue, it has the same title as a song from earlier in the round. So that was, I don't want to hear sad songs anymore. I only want to hear love songs. I found my heart up in this place tonight. Right, we ready for number 7? This is kind of a lesbian iconic song. So any lesbians out there, I expect you to know this. You treat me like your boyfriend and trust me like a very best friend. You kiss me like your boyfriend. You call me up like you want your best friend. Okay, so that was, you treat me like your boyfriend and trust me like a very best friend. You kiss me like your boyfriend. You call me up like you want your best friend. Right, I'm singing that in my head now. It's never going to come out.
I know. I
Unlike me.
actually don't recognize that one, so I need to look that one up. This is
Ooh,
why we're here.
it's a
Here
great
to learn.
song. It's a great song. So this next one is a little bit of a throwback. And by throwback, I mean like a couple of decades, but it's an amazing song, which is played very, very frequently on Heart Radio if you live in London. The lyrics go, how well I remember the look that was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the sly, taking time to make time, telling me that he's all mine. So that goes, how well I remember the look that was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the sly, taking time to make time, telling me that he's all mine. It's very hard not to sing these as I go along. Very hard.
I have a particular LGBT link to this song because this song was playing late night in a bar I was at when someone first drunkenly told me that they loved me. But we'd only been seeing each other. We'd only been seeing each other for a short while, and I did like the person very much. But I remember going, "Oh, really? That's interesting." So I have a very particular memory of this song every time it plays. It worked out very well after that, so it was very nice. So
I'm glad.
yeah, sorry.
Someone has commented about question 7. Not a clue. Do I lose my lesbian card? No, you don't. It might just be my bad taste in music. You might hate the song, but you're fine. Don't worry about it.
I I also think it must be like a driver's license, where there's a certain amount of like strikes you can take before you're out. So you still
Yeah.
have it now. You've got to continue to qualify, continue to have it.
I remember when I went to my first LGBT plus venue. It was a lesbian bar in London. It's unfortunately since closed. And when I turned up on the doorstep, the bouncer actually gave me a lesbian card so that I could give it back to her to get back in. So I kept that. And yeah, I've never let it go. It's still somewhere in my
Oh.
pile of crap. Actually, it's.
I have yet to be issued my gay card, but I await it very, very eagerly.
I'll make one for you.
Oh, thank
So
you.
question 9. You ready for question 9? You mean I've been dancing on the floor, darling, and I feel like I need some more, and I feel your body close to mine, and I move on, love, it's about that time. Make me feel mighty real. You mean I've been dancing on the floor, darling, and I feel like I need some more. I feel your body close to mine, and I move on, love, it's about that time. Make me feel mighty real. This is another throwback to the sort of club scene. A gay icon sings this song, so you'll know it if you hear it, for sure, if you don't know it already. And the last one, question 10 in this round. Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody has got a body like you, but I've got to think twice before I give my heart away. This one's easy, I think.
I love that song. I love that song so
It's
much.
good, isn't it?
That's a good,
So
like, feel good.
There's lyrics again. Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody has got a body like you, but I've got to think twice before I give my heart away. So that's the end of the lyrics round. We're going to go through and do answers. Remember, it's 2 points for each question, 1 for the song and 1 for the artist. So if you get one of them wrong, don't worry about it. So question 1, it's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. Was Your Song by Elton John, which is also in the film Moulin Rouge, which is just beautiful. I love it.
We also have a comment come through from Kevin, who says he hasn't got a clue, and we're very, very sorry, but he promised that once you hear the artists, it'll probably make a lot of sense. It's just one of those things that when you take away the music, they're suddenly so unrecognizable. So stick with us. I promise you'll probably kick yourself. Hopefully not too hard.
Question 2 was, I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity. And that was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, but I will also accept Freddie Mercury.
It's also my Tinder bio, so you know that I get people interested.
Has that helped you out, Liam? Have you got any dates out of that?
Not yet, but you know, still waiting, still swiping.
I met my partner on Tinder, so don't worry, don't lose hope.
Oh yeah. Well, that's you, and this is me. So we'll see. But yeah, you know,
fingers crossed. Photogenic.
You know what? Actually, I would say you definitely are. You definitely are.
So question 3, I do my hair toss, check my nails, baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell is the next bit, and that's by Lizzo, Good as Hell. I'm sorry about that.
This is the song where I always hear overwhelmed instead. I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, it makes me sound. You can sing. You have a voice. It's good that you're doing this round because I suck at singing. I just cannot do it.
Oh, I had lessons for like 4 years, and that was the biggest waste of money.
No, they paid off. They paid off.
Sing the line, Liam. Do it. Sing the line.
Oh no! So you know there would be no amount of money. Like it would just. You could even hear in my speaking voice. Like no.
Question 4, then, if you're not going to do it.
I refuse to be peer pressured.
Okay. Bold of you to assume you're my peer. I love you, really. She's into superstitions, black cats and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition. That girl's gonna make me fall. Is Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. Did you know that one?
I mean, I knew that one. I think I remember being in the cinema and that like coming on as like a music video, and I was just so enraptured. He's
In
quite a good
Shrek.
actor as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Shrek, the LGBT icon. Yeah, okay. It all fits back. But no, I remember he's actually a really good actor as well. He's in Ryan Murphy's American Crime Story about Versace. He
Ooh,
plays
I didn't know
Versace's
that.
lover. Yeah, I really recommend it because it's just a talented guy. It's also a really good series. It's like it talks very amazingly about. Anyway, sorry, I will stop plugging Ryan Murphy. I could do it all day.
So, question 5 was I want to hold 'em like they do in Texas, please. Fold 'em, let 'em hit me, raise it, baby, stay with me. I love it. And that was Poker Face by Lady Gaga. Question 6 I don't want to hear sad songs anymore. I only want to hear love songs. I found my heart up in this place tonight. Was Your Song by Rita Ora. So, same as the first answer, but with Rita Ora. And question 7, right, the lesbian anthem. You treat me like your boyfriend and trust me like a very best friend. You kiss me like your boyfriend. You call me up like you want your best friend. Is Boyfriend by Tegan and Sarah. So if anyone's kicking themselves now, I'm sorry. It's probably just the way I read it.
Every day is a school day. I'm learning something all the time.
This next one you know very well. How well I remember the look that was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the sly, taking time to make time, telling me that he's all mine, was Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield.
That was the
Question
song
9.
someone told me they liked me. Sorry, enough about my personal life. Sorry.
You mean I've been dancing on the floor, darling, and I feel like I need some more, and I feel your body close to mine, and I move on, love, it's about that time. Make me feel mighty real. Was You Make Me Feel Mighty Real by Sylvester, which is an amazing club song, like disco. It's really great.
Agreed.
And then the last one, well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody has got a body like you, but I gotta think twice before I give my heart away, was Faith by George Michael. So I hope you did well in that and you don't have too many of them stuck in your head now. I find lyrics rounds really, really difficult because I can sing the line that's been given to me in my head and I cannot fill in the rest of the song. So if you got like half of those, well done. So the next round is TV and film, and Liam's going to run it.
Yep. Cool. Happy to. So this next round is TV and film. We will probably go a little bit more at a pace now as you hopefully have, you're more in the swing of this. So question 1. Which UK show first screened the first pre-Watershed lesbian kiss on TV? So this is the first lesbian kiss on TV. Which UK show screened the first pre-Watershed lesbian kiss on TV?
I've never seen this show, but I feel like I have to now.
It's LGBT history, I think. There are some shows that I still have to watch. I still have to go back and watch The L Word, but it's one of those things.
I've watched the first like 2 seasons, and then I was watching it with my partner, and we moved on to something else, probably something worse. But they've done a reunion of it, so I feel like I have to go back and start it again now.
They did a Queer as Folk reunion as well recently, and I grew up on that show, secretly watching it on YouTube. It was on YouTube when my parents weren't looking, and it was definitely a little bit of a gateway. Question 2. Sorry, I'll move on quickly. Who won season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race? Who won season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race? I'll give you a hint. It's they were called the Intellectual Queen. Some might contest that, some might not, but that is what they were called. So maybe that will give you a bit of a clue, and also a clue as to what I think about them. Question 3. This is really famous. So which American show screened the first ever lesbian wedding? The first ever lesbian wedding on an American TV show. This is, I think, something that most people have watched. It's like Star Wars or the news, you've just seen it. Which is the name of Channel 4's drama, which is based around Manchester's Canal Street area. So this is where I live. It's probably also partly the reason that I do live here, because it made quite an impression. What is the name of Channel 4's drama which was based around Manchester's Canal Street area?
Bit of a clue. Liam's actually said the answer already.
I have. I said the yes. I'll do. So who played the famous queer queen, Queen Anne, in the film The Favourite? Who played the famous queer queen, Queen Anne, in the film The Favourite? I really enjoyed this film. It had such hype, and usually things which are hyped, I am so skeptical of, but I did watch it, and I did turn it off, look at the credits, and was like, oh, well, that was actually really, really good. I just couldn't be critical.
And the phrase famous queer queen, Queen Anne, is incredibly difficult to say as fast as you say it. So well done.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Also
sorry,
similarly hard to sign.
Yes. Sorry, Lauren. So that's the queer queen, Queen Anne, in the film The Favourite. Okay. Question 6. Who was the trans male character in The L Word? What were they called? What was the trans male character in The L Word called? Question 7. Who was the actress from Orange is the New Black who was the first openly trans woman to feature on the cover of British Vogue magazine? I think this is quite a pivotal moment as well in the past 10 years. So the last question was, who was the actress from Orange is the New Black who was the first openly trans woman to feature on the cover of British Vogue magazine? Okay, I hope that's there. What was the name of the club frequented by characters in Queer as Folk? This is both the US and the UK version. What was the name of the club frequented by characters in Queer as Folk? And if you watch the series, they basically go nowhere else. So this is like the only club that seemed to be in their town. What was its name?
Wouldn't be the same show if filmed in the time of coronavirus, would it? Just like, oh, this is my living room.
Oh God, maybe there'll be a TV show that comes up about that. Oh God, I'd probably be not. Well, I guess it'll be different. People have learned to connect in lots of different ways, but that's okay. Okay, I'll move on. Which cast member of Queer Eye recently came out as non-binary in 2019? Which cast member of the recent remake of Queer Eye came out as non-binary in 2019? And moving on very quickly, this is a famous one. I think this is something that if you're in like LGBT circles or whatever, and you don't know the answer to this, it's usually pretty, obvious. I'll say this one there. Hopefully this one catches up. What is the cult classic documentary focusing on the drag scene in Harlem, New York in the 1990s?
Even if you haven't seen it, it makes a lot of references to it in Drag Race, so there's that.
I was also part of a seminar once which brought this film up, and someone thought that they hadn't seen this, and they thought that someone was referencing a terrorist attack instead of this film. In that case, and the title, it kind of makes sense, but you understand.
You still there, Liam? This is what happens when you do things live. He seems to have frozen on me. All right, I'll carry it on. So, that was what is the cult classic documentary focusing on the drag scene in Harlem, New York. The next one is which actor became the first openly gay man to be knighted, and in which year did it take place? So you get 2 points for this one. So which actor became the first openly gay man to be knighted, and which year did it happen? This is quite a famous actor who's been in Lord of the Rings and various other fantastic things, so you should all know it. And question 13 Which horror film character accidentally became a gay icon when added by Netflix into its LGBTQ plus film category? So, which horror film character accidentally became a gay icon when added by Netflix into its LGBTQ plus film category? So, this is a horror film character who accidentally became a gay icon. I wish I had accidentally become a gay icon because it was added by Netflix into its LGBTQ plus film category. And now we're on to question 14. Oh, Liam might be back. Stay tuned. So question 14 is a bonus question. Hello, Liam. Are you there? I'm just going to carry on. He'll turn up when he turns up. So question 14, the bonus question. Name as many winners of Drag Race as you can, including UK and All Stars. So just list them out, as many as you can think of. You can use the one that was the answer to a previous question if you want to, as a bit of a starter. Runners-up will not be accepted, sorry about that, but UK Drag Race and All Stars will be accepted. So go for that. The more you get, the more points you get. So this is a chance to really pile it on. Though if you don't watch Drag Race, this is probably very upsetting. So that was question 14. Name as many winners of Drag Race as you can, including UK and All Stars. The caption says Drag Race contestants, but it's Drag Race winners. Amazing. Right, so I think what I might do here... Ah, Liam!
I'm so sorry.
He's back!
I was so excited for that round, but thank you very much for picking it up.
That's all right, no problem at all. We're on to round 4, which is LGBT plus history. And do you want to do this round? Because I finished off your one, and then I can do round 6, which is the animals round, which is my favorite round.
Yeah, sure. This is a shorter round, which I'm happy to do. So this is a little bit more of a niche one. I didn't know this before I learned this. So when was the red ribbon, the solidarity symbol for people living with HIV and AIDS, introduced? So we see this now on AIDS Day. When was the World AIDS Day? When was the red ribbon, the solidarity symbol for people living with HIV/AIDS, introduced?
Can we just say a massive thanks and shout out to the people who are like frantically typing out the questions behind the screen, get it on the screen for you?
Yeah. This may look seamless. There's a lot of people behind the scenes just like cranking all the wheels, you know. It's
They're trying so hard.
And I am also aware that at times I can speak very fast, so apologies for that.
Yeah, and shout out to Lauren for the really, really quick signing.
Thank you so much. I'll move on to question 2. Thomas Neuwirth is better known as the Eurovision Song Contest winner blank. Thomas Neuwirth is better known as the Eurovision Song Contest winner blank. The next question, question 3 for this round. This is a slightly shorter round. In which year was the age of consent equalised for LGBT plus people in the UK? This was part of a... Yeah, it's quite a recent answer, a recent time. This was a protracted campaign across like the 80s and 90s, and it took a long time to get there. So what was the year, in which year was the age of consent equalised for people in the UK? Question 4. Which year was same-sex marriage, not civil partnerships, same-sex marriage legalized in the UK? I mean, I remember this. There was a huge amount of debates over the time. It was kind of came out of the blue, I think, from the government that was in charge at the time. But it's a very, very welcome bit of progress. Which year was same-sex marriage, not civil partnership, legalized in the UK? Question 5. Now, this is famous. I think we had to include a question about this because this is the birth of the LGBT rights movement, and it's something which has just definitely entered like myth status within our community. What was the date of the Stonewall riots? So that's what was the date of the Stonewall riots, and these riots are, popularly understood to have kickstarted the LGBT civil rights movement as we know it. And lots of icons were involved in it. Sylvia Rivera, Marsha P. Johnson. It's definitely a huge part of our history. So what was the date of the Stonewall riots? And the last question for this shorter round, what year was gay sex decriminalized in the UK? What year was gay sex decriminalized in the UK? Another watershed moment, I think, in the UK. Okay, I hope that you have all of those. I mean, it took its time, I think this is one of the things that was the Wolfenden report in the decade before, and it took them a decade later to kind of actually instigate the reforms that people were talking about. So it's a reminder that I think change can happen, but sometimes it can be a slow and arduous process. But they can get better. But yeah, it's something that definitely I find a lot of this history crazy because it's in the lifetime of my parents. Like the shift from say the 1950s to now is just insane. It's madness, but it's obviously very, very welcome. Okay, I'll go to the question of those. So this is for question 1. When was the red ribbon, the solidarity symbol for people living with HIV and AIDS, introduced? It was 1991. So again, quite a recent thing. And hopefully we all wear them when the time of year comes around. It's a really, really important thing to remember. That was 1991. Question 2. Thomas Neurath is better known as the Eurovision Song Contest winner. Like, I remember this became such a storm at the time. It really kind of put a fault line for the middle of Eurovision. I didn't even watch it, and I knew about this. It was Conchita Wurst. What, Wurst? Wurst?
Oh, okay, my German house do me in if I don't say Wurst.
Didn't want to just be, destroying the language. Conchita Wurst. Okay, question 3. In which year was the age of consent equalized for LGBT plus people in the UK? Like Joe said, this is incredibly recent. It was 2001. It was 2001. So barely 19 years ago. It is just madness. But there we are. So again, a welcome bit of progress. Question 4. What year was same-sex marriage, not civil partnership, legalized in the UK? Again, this is something which is very, very recent. We were years behind the Netherlands. This was 2013. Because of the legislative process, the first equal marriage is not taking place until 2014. Question 5. So really, really famous. What was the date of the Stonewall riots? That was the 28th of June, 1969. So again, like comparatively very, very recent. This is seen as the birth. It's also one of the main reasons that prides often take place in June, because the prides took they took place in years after this to commemorate these riots. So this is actually the reason, the way that we still have pride at this time of year now, which is great. And question 6, the final question of this short round. What year was gay sex decriminalized in the UK? Again, recent, slightly earlier than the Stonewall riots, but it was 1967. 1967. So I think there have been actors like Ian McKellen, Joe, who've talked about, because they are of an age where they actually can remember before this point, which just seems madness to me. But again, a very, very recent addition just shows you how far we've come.
Do you want to know something? I've just realised we haven't actually done any of the answers for round 3, TV and film. There are people that they don't know anything.
Oh my God, I can't believe we did that. It's because of I got cut off and I got so confused. Okay, well, you've got the answer to question 4. I'm going to quickly go back over the questions for TV, round and film. We're going to pretend that never happened and it was a seamless process. So I'm going to feel like I'm Theresa May in the Conservative thing, because this flag is basically barely pinned up. And I bet when I'm messing up, it's just going to fall down straight behind me and then something will set fire or something. Anyway, okay. So remember, for question 3, TV and film, which show first screened the pre-watershed lesbian kiss on TV? So if you can remember this, the first TV kiss, it was a show called Brookside. I'm going to speed roll through these as quickly as I can, whilst also respecting our interpreter as best I can. Who won the most recent? Who won the season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race? That was the intellectual queen, Sasha Velour. Sorry. Yes, good for her. Question 3. Which American show screened the first ever lesbian wedding? It's probably so many people's favorite show. It was Friends. Question 4. What is the name of Channel 4's drama which was based around Manchester's Canal Street area? That was Queer as Folk. It's also part of the reason that I moved to Manchester. This is the tongue twister,
You're
which
welcome, Manchester.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, a huge immigration of gay people there, which continues today. Sorry, a bit of this inadvertent tongue twister. Who played the famous queer queen, Queen Anne, in the film The Favourite? It was everyone's favourite, Olivia Colman. It's kind of just impossible to dislike her, even if you tried. Question 6. Who was the trans male character in The L Word? What was he called? He was called Max. And it was another watershed moment for LGBT people on screen. We just had someone comment that they don't like Olivia Colman. Very, very sorry to agree. We'll let her know. We'll let her know. Question 7. Who was the actress from Orange is the New Black who was the first openly trans woman to feature on the cover of British Vogue magazine? That was Laverne Cox. She's also featuring at the moment in a Netflix documentary called Disclosure, which talks about trans representation in the media. It's really, really good. I really recommend seeing it. It's something that will probably shock you a lot of the time, just of how far we need to go with that. But it's also such an amazing documentary. It features such wonderful people. Question 8. What was the name of the club frequented by characters in Queer as Folk, both US and UK? It was called Babylon. And before lockdown, there was actually a club in Manchester, which Cruise, which the outside was featured on in the 1990 show. And they actually reopened Babylon for a night. So that, little bit, it's always coming back. Yeah, it was lovely. Russell T Davies was there. It was insane. But question 9, which cast member of Queer Eye recently came out as non-binary in 2019? It was the just simply wonderful Jonathan Van Ness. I'm a big fan of theirs. I just think they're wonderful. I won't gush anymore. Question 10, really famous cult classic documentary focusing on the drag scene in Harlem, New York. What was it called? Paris is Burning. This is something that I think you get scolded for if you don't actually know what it is. Question 11, which actor became the first openly gay man to be knighted and which year did this take place? This was obviously Sir Ian McKellen in 1991. Thank God for Gandalf. Thank God for Magneto. Thank God for his activism. He's just a wonderful, wonderful person.
Absolute dream.
Yeah, I know. He came to a school when I was growing up near my school. My school was Catholic. So when he was doing this tour for the LGBT rights, where basically everyone else was getting to meet Gandalf, we didn't. We tried to sneak in, but it didn't happen. But hopefully things are better now. And last one, which horror film accidentally became a gay icon when added by Netflix accidentally into its LGBTQ plus film category? This is obviously the queer, it's The Babadook. In 2017, I'm not sure, there was lots of Babadooks voguing, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. So sorry about missing that round. We hope you can go back and check your answers. Hope you did well. And I'll hand you over to Joe.
So the last bonus question of that round was name as many winners of Drag Race as you can, including UK and All Stars. So we'll give you a selection here. BB Sahara Benet, Tyra Sanchez, Raja, Sharon Needles, Jinx Monsoon, Bianca Del Rio, Violet Chachki, Bob the Drag Queen, Sasha Velour, Aquaria, Evie Oddly, Jada Essence Hall, and so many others. And now there's a Canadian version of that show, so the list is just going to continue. Liam seems to have popped off again, but that's fine, because we're doing round 6, which is the animals round. And we've only got a few minutes left, so I'm going to have to whiz through these and try and find ones that hopefully you'll know if you're as much of an animal nerd as I am. So question 1. Human fingerprints are nearly indistinguishable from the fingerprints of what animals? To the extent that they've been confused at crime scenes. So human fingerprints are nearly indistinguishable from the fingerprints of what animals? Right? So, question 2, bit of a gross one. What percentage of Antarctic ice is made up of penguin excretion? You're going to have to be within, I'm going to say 2% of this to get the point. Because if you're not within 2%, kind of gives your answer away. So, question 3. The Queen owns all unmarked species of what? All unmarked animals of what species? So the Queen owns all unmarked animals of what species? I'll give them a chance to get that up on screen. So this is a species that I personally find absolutely terrifying, but apparently the Queen is really into them. And yeah, it's just a fun fact.
She loves them. These animals and corgis, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's honestly it. So if you're not sure, take a wild stab at what the Queen's into. That was question 3, which was the Queen owns all unmarked animals of what species? Right?
I think it will have to be our last question of this round as well, only because time is marching on. But there is also another a theme which binds all these animals together.
All 3 of them.
I think there's all three of them.
Right.
Shall we do the answers for these ones now, just to make sure we don't get cut off and leave people in a state of anticipation forever?
Yeah, let's do it. So, question 1 of the animal rounds. Human fingerprints are nearly indistinguishable from the fingerprints of what animals? It's koalas. So if you look them up online, they do have like creepy similar fingerprints to us, and they have been confused at Australian crime scenes, which must make being an officer in Australia incredibly difficult with all the koalas wandering around. At least that's the impression I've got of Australia. Might be wrong.
It shouldn't be funny. I like the idea that someone's been wrongly accused of a theft of like fruit or something. It's like, well, your fingerprints are all over the scene. That's a, I don't know. Sorry. I'm being distracted.
So question 2, what percentage of Antarctic ice is made up of penguin excretion? 3%. A whole 3% of Antarctic ice. That is a lot of stuff.
It's like when they say when you're going swimming, and so much of that is like human waste because of like kids in the pool and stuff. It's kind of like that, but on a massive. Is that disgusting? Sorry, I didn't mean to bring the time down, but sorry, it made me think of that. You wrote this question.
I did. I think it's an interesting fact. So question 3, the Queen owns all unmarked species, and I've done it again, all unmarked animals of what species? And the answer is mute swans, but I will accept swans. Swans is fine.
Terrifying animal.
They are really scary.
They are. I also think that we have Emily Gower has guessed the answer to the last question, which what does bind all these animals together? But I'll let you reveal that, Joe.
So all 3 of these animals have been found to exhibit homosexual behaviour in the wild or form same-sex couples alongside chimpanzees, bonobos, flamingos, albatrosses, who have been known to form lesbian pair couplings or both female pair couplings, rats, dolphins, and fruit bats.
Everybody's doing it, you know, the whole animal kingdom. We're all here. They're all invited to the party.
Lovely.
Okay, I think with that, we will end now with our last final round, which is just simply a bonus question where you have to fill in the rights. Now, this is a quote from Hillary Clinton in 2011 at the UN, and it marked a kind of sea change in both American foreign policy regarding LGBTQ people and also international, the establishment of new international norms. So please fill in the blanks. Blank rights are blank rights, and blank rights are blank rights. I hope that's kind of, it repeats itself quite a bit. So blank rights are blank rights, and blank rights are blank rights. I don't know why that feels so odd to say, but it doesn't feel right. That's the last bonus question. We'll give you 5 points for that, but also you're at home, so if you want to give yourself 20, go for it. Pour yourself a drink. Well done, you. But the famous quote from Hillary Clinton there was LGBT rights are human rights, and human rights are LGBT rights. It was something that was seen, that the idea that these rights are integral to a human rights mission. I'm being told to sing, and I really, really don't want to. I also have nothing to sing. But thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed your chance to test some of your LGBT trivia and perhaps learn something new. Thank you again so much to Lauren for joining us as our BSL interpreter. And Joe, I'm sure you have something else to say.
Yeah, don't forget to check out our partners events, Power Pride and UK Black Pride, over on their channels. They've been doing amazing stuff all day and will continue to for the next few days.
Oh my God, do I have to sing? I have no idea what I would
Someone's requested Little Mermaid.
That was actually my favorite film.
Please follow the Rainbow Network on social media to have a look at the activism that we're getting on with and for chances to get involved. We do loads of things and would really appreciate you joining in. Thank you very much. Stay safe and happy 2020 Pride. Thank you, Lauren.
Happy 2020 Pride. That was me singing. That was the singing. That was as close as you get. Thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us. And thank you everyone who followed along. It's been great to have you. And please catch up with the rest of what Amnesty's doing and have a wonderful Pride. We'll see you later.
Sorry, I'm free.
Yeah, sorry about that. Whoops. I think we saved it though. I think we just about saved it.
We brought it back.